Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Here's a subject dear to everyone's hearts. Disputing an error on your credit report. So many of us have had to challenge the reporting companies. I'm going to give you a few tips. Compliments of Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. They're a great resource. I hope they stay around for a long, long time. At the end of January 2025, let me give you a few tips about disputing any errors on your credit report. You have the right to dispute errors on your credit report. Fixing an error generally means contacting both the credit reporting company and the company that provided the information. Thank you very much. Where is it where I can send the bill to these companies for their error? I don't see it anywhere. I've never seen it. Here's the bottom line. They're not culpable for their mistakes. Well, if you're in a situation where you find the companies and the reporting companies are so egregious, and you, like me, find this absolutely disheartening, my time's valuable. Sue them. Take them to small claims court. Document the crap out. Just document everything to the T. And then if you end up spending 5 hours and your billing rate is $200 an hour, sue them. All right? If anyone has tried this, let me know, because someone has to step up to the plate in terms of these companies and the credit reporting agencies. Once they have skin in the game, in other words, their errors, if enough people start suing them, well, maybe they'll improve their systems. First, dispute the information with the credit reporting company or companies. Well, this is where we are. We're falling into this robot-driven communication, which is an absolute dead end. So with AI on the forefront, here it is, 2025. I can imagine by 2027, stuff like this is going to be all robot-driven, AI-driven, and you're going to get lost in the Ethernet, and it's pathetic. Going to displace the workers for AI. There's no way you're going to be able to argue this stuff. So prepare now for the inevitable. So here it is. If you identify an error on your credit report, you should start by disputing information with the credit reporting companies. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. I'll save my comments about what my opinion of these groups are. Just FYI, I owned a mortgage company for a long, long, long time. I dealt with these three groups repeatedly for years after years after years after years. I have spent so much time with prospective borrowers correcting credit reports, arguing disputes, arguing errors. It's a never-ending battle. If you can win 70% of the time, you are on top of the world. The deal here is you give up, and you can't do that because it is so critical today in terms of your credit score. You have to be on the edge and scold these people. And you don't have to be nice, just be professional, be courteous, try not to swear, because that will end up getting you nowhere. But we end up doing that because on the other end, the turnover of the individuals you're speaking to is rather high. It's a rather dull, boring, non-sophisticated approach to correcting errors. Keep in mind, these companies swallow up billions and billions of bits of data on you, which again is invasive. And I think it's an invasion. But look, anytime you click on a website, you're basically giving that company permission to kind of keep you in their database. So try to remove all that stuff. Always try to remove your history. Always try to remove your history whenever you're online. And you can easily do that by simply, you go to Firefox, you can say, destroy all my history every time I shut off Firefox, or every time I shut down my browser, that history's gone. And then you can also use cookie removal tools when you're doing stuff like this. And it's a simple add-on. I have one. If you look up on the right here, see this little guy? Well, you won't be able to see it because I always delete. I delete all the information up in the header. But if you want to have your cookies removed, you can do it manually for every website you go to. And then you can go into Chrome, or I don't know what Microsoft's their browser is. They change it all the time. But anyway, you can navigate that stuff and try to control what information is being swallowed up by various companies through their cookies. All right, now back to my issue. You should explain in writing what you think is wrong, why, and include copies of documents that support your dispute. Are you kidding me? You can also use our instructions and template letter. I'll get to this later. If you mail a dispute, your dispute letter should include contact information for you, including your complete name, address, and telephone number, credit reporting confirmation number, each error you want fixed, including the account number for any account you may be disputing, clear explanation of why you're disputing the information, request that the information be removed or corrected, a copy of the portion of your credit report that contains the disputed terms with the disputed items circled or highlighted, copies, not originals, of documents that support your position. Yeah, their error, your time. Here's the contact information for Equifax. There's their online source. You can use it by phone or email. I'm not going to repeat what's already here. This information will be linked below. You can go to Experian and you can go to TransUnion. Now, the problem is each of them report differently. Yeah, it's whack-a-mole. Now, in the mortgage industry, we would pull a single credit report and we'd get a consolidation of these three. That way, you, as the consumer, could address the issue instead of pulling three different credit reports over a period of time. Now, here's the deal. You may not be aware of an error until you pull a credit report. You can pull Equifax. Then in 4 months, you can pull Experian. And in 4 months, you can pull a TransUnion because they're free. Or perhaps if you go online, you may be able to pull stuff up more frequently, but you can see the challenges here. On the other hand, if you're trying to get a credit card and you're turned down, that particular group has to provide you a reason. Then they should provide you something related to your credit report. Now, I don't know what information that credit card company is going to provide to you, but it may point out what particular reporting agency has recognized you as a possible error. In other words, a credit card company said, we declined your credit request because there are errors here, or we see this, this, and this, which would point to, hopefully, Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. I haven't been in the mortgage industry for a long time, and I know a lot of things have changed. So update me. Let me know if you're battling, if you're in the trenches trying to get through this. Let me know your experiences. Again, this is all about documentation. And I'm serious. If you're spending way too much time on their errors that are not your fault. In other words, your name is Bob Smith and you have a lot of other Bob Smith claims on your credit report. Well, you give the credit reporting agency one shot and then you say, I'm taking the small claims, period. Now, there's probably some provision in their garbage terms of service. Throw it out the window. If I'm a judge and I'm sitting listening to your complaint and it's about one of these agencies, well, I'm pretty much going to rubber stamp it for the most part, going, these credit reporting companies are pathetic. Well, let me know. Then, to add a little more salt to the wound, you also have to go to the company that's reporting your error. Now, this is a nightmare within itself. Credit reporting companies gather information about you from other companies called furnishers. Example of furnishers include your bank, your landlord, and your credit card company. And it could go on and on and on. To dispute the information a furnisher provided to the credit reporting company, you can use our sample letter. Let's take a look. Here is a template. You can use this, and it's not bad. All right. I haven't read it, but there you go. That may save you some time, but again, it may not. You can use that as a guide. You can send disputes to furnishers in writing using certified mail. All right, again, your cost. Disputes can be sent to the furnisher's address included on your consumer report or to an address specified by the furnisher for receiving credit reporting disputes. Furnishers generally must investigate and respond to your dispute within 30 days of when they receive the dispute. Yeah, let me know how that works out. I've gone out and I've battled, and it took over 90 days to fix some of this stuff. If the investigation shows the furnisher provided wrong information about you or the information cannot be verified, the furnisher must update or remove the information and notify all credit reporting companies after correcting it. Then the credit reporting companies must update your credit report. How about, why don't they must also compensate you for your valuable time. The furnishers might determine that the information about you is accurate and should not be updated or removed. In that case, you can contact the credit reporting companies again and ask them to include a statement explaining the dispute in your credit report. Yeah, you can see, he said, she said kind of deal. Again, there are sources out there. They don't state this, but if you have a situation where your furnisher, a landlord, he's a jerk. You filed a complaint, said you were late. You weren't late, and you proved it. But this individual or this company refuses to correct the problem. The credit reporting company won't resolve the issue. Take them to court, all right? Then sue them for the maximum amount, just to put them on the edge. Sue them for, in California, it's $12,500. Sue them. It costs $40 to sue them. You can do it all online. And then when it comes to the actual trial, you can do it on Zoom. In the end, what you'll negotiate is for this company, this individual, to step up and fess up to their errors, then pay you for your time. Now, they could argue that's not compensable, but you have to say, this took out 4 hours of my work time, and use it as a complaint. Always throw in some outrageously huge number and then negotiate it down. And then lastly, you can submit a complaint. I don't know where that's going to take you, but you can see how cumbersome this is. Bottom line is, some things are out of your control. If they are, just be armed. And the last thing you want to do is go to battle, but sometimes you have to. There are other resources listed below for your convenience. Let me know. Let me know your horror stories. Let me know if you've had success. Let me know if you're still battling. If they, whether a furnisher or the credit reporting companies, have been dragging their feet. They sunk the anchor and they refuse to make any adjustments or modifications, and you're still battling. You're trying to buy a house and the error has such an impact. For example, they say you filed bankruptcy and you never filed bankruptcy. That's the guillotine. They could have the wrong name. They could have a social security number that was entered incorrectly. There's just so many variables. Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Hope that helped. Thanks for watching. See you soon.